Yo, what's popping? So I wanted to give everybody an update and kind of take this opportunity to thank everybody that is following me or been following me since day one. And I'm going to start trying to do more blogs. Um, as you know, for those that have been following me for a minute, traveling is one of my passions, what I like to do, is what I like to continue to be able to do. And I get a lot of questions asked, whether it's by family, friends, or just followers, or just people that I linked up with. Yo, you went there, can you give me any tips? Can you tell me what's going on? I recently had somebody reach out to me because I moved to Colombia. I've been here, I think, a little bit over 2 years, or I'm reaching 2 years. And they asked me, well, how was the transition? What did you have to do? X, Y, and Z. They asked a bunch of questions. So this blog is going to be more about Punta Cana because I recently just went there and everything's fresh in my mind, so it's easy to do. But the idea is to bring in more blogs and to do more blogs and to add a little bit of value to whoever's watching this, whether it's giving you some gems on tricks or hacks, right, that I learned along the way, or giving you information, making you laugh, sharing things that are unique to each place that I travel, or whatever it is, man. Just trying to add some value. So that's what it's about. So I want to thank you. If you want to share it, if you want to comment, if you want to like, please do. I'm no crazy influencer. I'm just starting out. So all this stuff that I'm doing is new to me, right? So I'm learning. So be patient with me. So I want to talk about Punta Cana. So for those that don't know, I went to Punta Cana, or specifically, I should say, I went to Dominican Republic about over a decade ago, right? Because I don't know exactly the year. But one of the biggest takeaway, and this might be surprising for a lot of people, is when I visited there, I visited Santo Domingo specifically. And I also hit up Punta Cana. But Santo Domingo, I learned that Dominicans love Bucana Doce. So if you know about Bucana Doce, you understand, like the DR, man, this is what they drink. All right, so that was one of my biggest experience. The other thing is they like to drink and they like to smoke hookah. So prior to that, I grew up in Orange County, LA, and that's normal. Hookah out there is normal. In Orange County, it's very common. They have hookah bars. I think they call them hookah lounges actually, and it's just a normal thing. But it wasn't a thing for me. But when I visited Santo Domingo, it's a whole vibe, man. It's smoking hookah, drinking a little bit, listening to music is a vibe. So, anyways, that's kind of like my biggest takeaway from them. Besides the fact they have beautiful waters, great food, the energy, the vibe is crazy. So I was telling my girl about this, and she's like, "Oh man, I really want to experience that." So I told her, "Let's head up Punta Cana because I believe there's where the best beaches were at." And I gotta get into that in just a little bit because I was surprised that the best beaches are not actually necessarily in Punta Cana. And low key, that was disappointing. But anyways, all right, so we get there. We get to the airport. Really cool airport. A very island vibe type of deal. I don't know what you call it. We call them chozas, but it's like it's almost like it's very eco-friendly. I don't know the proper phrase, but it's not like a regular building. It has a lot of nature into it. That's the best way I can describe it, like a bohemian style, if you understand that. But anyways, we get to the airport. First thing I want to check out if Uber was available, man, because I prefer taking an Uber versus a taxi. I've had bad experience with taxis when I travel to other places. So thankfully, shout out to Uber. They were available. We got picked up in an Uber. We go to the Airbnb. We selected the Airbnb. It's about 2 minutes to the beach, and it's located in a pretty popular area or restaurant, I should say, called Jellyfish Restaurant. That was the name of the restaurant, Jellyfish Restaurant. Really cool restaurant. Recommend it. A little bit upscale, but it is a vibe. It's right in front of the beach. Boat, music, very Tulum style type of look, a restaurant. And the food was delicious. So shout out to that. I think we got to the airport, we hit up the Airbnb, drop off our luggage. We literally, I think, either took an Uber or we walked to the restaurant. And that was it. That was kind of like the first day. We did hit up, what else did we do? We hit up, I think we went out. No. I think that was it. It's all we did that day. The next day, I had a boat activity. That's what we did the next day. It was a boat activity. So what we did is we went back to Jellyfish and we got a boat just for me and my girl, and the boat took us to different beaches close by. different waters, and this is kind of where the disappointment comes in. So remember the first day I told you I was in front of the beach at the restaurant. We noticed that there was a lot of, oh my god, I forgot the name of this damn leaf, but it's in the ocean, it's everywhere, and it's affecting a bunch of oceans. And I apologize for my ignorance in regards to this, but it was just full of it, man, full of that grass thing, grass ocean, whatever you want to call it. And on top of that, because of that, the water looked muddy, so it didn't make the beach look as pretty as you would imagine, right? All right, cool, but no big deal. I'm thinking the boat activity the next day, we're gonna go. So anyways, thankfully the boat didn't make up for it. We went to different spots, 2 to 3 different spots. The water was pretty. I'm not gonna say it's the best. I'm not gonna say it's the best, at least for that boat activity. I'm not gonna say but it was nice. I'll share some videos so you guys can check it out. Disappointed in a way, mainly because of, like I said, there was just the water overall felt like it was dirty. The water didn't feel as clear. I didn't feel as clean. And mainly that's it. But overall, I'm gonna say being a boat, listening to music, drinking, vibing with your girl, it's cool, man. It's a really cool experience. All right, the following day we had a boogie, which is a, what is it? I mean, I don't know, a boogie. It's like a almost like a, not a dirt bike, but it's a car. I know it's like very close to a slingshot. If you know what a slingshot is, it's similar to a slingshot, but dirt style, I guess, if you want to call it. But so we rented one of those out. I was very particular renting one of these out because I want to make sure it had a ceiling, because I didn't want to get burned, man. I didn't want to get burned. I didn't want my girl to get burned. So thankfully we were able to come through with that. The experience was really cool. I thought the price point was super dope. You're gonna find anything between $75 to like $140. Now, while I'm explaining this, something about Punta Cana is extremely Americanized. That was a big surprise to me. I didn't feel the first time around like it was so Americanized. Like, example, like they use dollars as they use their Dominican pesos. Their phone number starts with the one, just like in the United States, it starts with the one. There was a lot of Americans. It almost felt low key. It felt like I was in LA a little bit. That's how I felt. Like when and I'll get into going to the club and all that, but it felt like almost like that. One thing I have to go back on, that day after the boat, we did decide to go to a lounge or a club, which it was called Drink Point. That's what it was called, Drink Point. A vibe, man. It's a little zone that has like five different lounges or clubs, whatever you want to call them. And it's packed, bro. This was a Friday, so it was super packed. We went into Drink Point. Something surprising is they didn't charge us at the door, because I did feel some of the other areas. I remember we went to another lounge and they charged us $20. So this one in particular, shout out to Drink Point, they didn't charge us. So we went in there, but it was so packed, man, that we couldn't get a table. And I'm not talking about like a VIP table. I'm talking about like a table we could just kick it and chill. We couldn't even do that. Everything was taken. It was cracking. It was popping. We lasted maybe an hour. We had 2-3 drinks there, and then we called it a night. Going back to the next day on this boogie ride that I was telling you about, it was really cool. So they picked us up. I thought that was pretty dope too. They picked us up. You didn't have to drive there, especially for us. We didn't rent a vehicle, so that made it easier on us. They picked us up. They take us about 45 minutes out from Punta Cana, sort of kind of like a desert area type of deal. We did a couple activities. We visited the beach. It was super quick. That was kind of like a disappointment because it was too fast. We literally got there because the idea was to eat and then enjoy the water, and we didn't have an opportunity to eat or enjoy the water. It was quick. We ordered 2 drinks. I was vibing with my girl, just talking to her, and literally the guy comes like, "Oh, we gotta go." So, anyways, that was one. We went to a cenote. If you don't know what a cenote is, it's kind of like a cave with natural water. We went there, we saw it, but we decided not to go in, mainly because it was just a lot of people, man. So most of these activities, you have to be prepared that there's a lot of people. It's not just you, unless you make it exclusive just for you, which obviously is going to cost you a little bit more. But if you're just purchasing kind of like a ticket, just be prepared. There's going to be a lot of people going on the same activity with you. So we saw a lot of people were like, nah. When we were entering the cenote, it's like we passed by a hotel. We walked by a hotel. So me and my girl were like, let's just go chill by the pool while the activity is done. So we did that. And then that was kind of it. Obviously, I'm giving you the short version. There was a lot of driving. The whole process took about 3 hours. The driving around, going to the cenote, going to the beach. They also do a quick stop at a place that they make their own alcohol. I forgot the name of it, man. Mama Buena or anyways, you can comment, man, if you're Dominican, you know what's up. But it's like a very unique drink to them. They make. We stopped by one of those little farms. It was cool. We tasted it. They make a lot of natural things from their land, so that was really cool to taste. They also have a little shopping center, and that was cool. So all right, so that's gonna be our third day, right? Our fourth day we decide let's rent a car. So fuck it. We rented a car and we headed we wanted to hit up a beach that was beautiful because I kept preaching prior to arriving in Punta Cana, my girl, that the beaches were beautiful. So my girl's like, well, I haven't seen one so far. Besides the boat activities, like I said, but that's not really the beach. That was inside the water, low key kind of a drive. But anyways, we find one. It's 2 hours away. Dummy of me, FYI, don't make this mistake. On Google Maps, I ended up putting by mistake avoid tolls. Now I know why I did that. I did that because when I was living in the States, there are certain tolls I wanted to avoid because a lot of times I had to drive from LA to San Diego, and there was a toll in between. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that story, but I think that's where the setting came from, or I could be totally tripping. It was just manually set up like that or whatever. So anyways, it said 2 hours. We didn't think too much of it, and I'll get into it why I'm mentioning this. We drive the 2 hours, we get there. Now this is a Sunday. Beach is beautiful. The water is incredible, but it's packed, bro. It's super, super packed. There's a lot of people there. It's crazy packed. And my girl didn't like it. I'm not a big fan of it either, but at the end of the day, bro, you drive 2 hours, I'm going to enjoy it, right? I'm going to make the best of it. So I bought some food. We rented like a little umbrella with the tables or the chairs right in front of the water, dude. So we eat, we vibe, we go in the water. The ocean is beautiful, blue, just the way you see it in pictures or videos. That was really, really dope. Sorry if I don't have the name. Maybe when I edit this video, I'll plug it in and I'll look it up. But like I said, it's about 2 hours. Is Sanoa Beach, I believe that's the name. Really cool. We probably hung out for, I don't know, 5 hours. We spent quite a little bit of time there. And obviously we know we got to drive back. This is where it happens. So I'm driving back and I'm following a bunch of big trucks, man. That's what I'm following. A bunch of big trucks. And I see them make a right. And when they make the right, I can tell it looked like a highway. But my directions kept saying go straight. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck? There's a highway here? Why is my direction keep going straight when I'm so far? I should be allowed to go on the highway. So I looked at it, and that's when I noticed that damn setting that said avoid tolls. And anyways, I took that shit off and went from 2 hours to an hour. So that mistake cost me an extra hour, which thankfully I figured it out. There is 2 tolls, nothing crazy, bro. Especially compared to Colombia, the tolls were like, and I could, don't quote me on this, but it's like $2 maybe. Each toll is about $2. In Colombia, you're gonna pay probably closer to $5, right? But anyways, tolls weren't too bad. We did an hour, also didn't seem very long. I think that day we ended up going out. That's what we ended up doing. We ended up going to Drink Point again, because this time we're like, all right, we're gonna have Drink Point, but we're gonna arrive early. So we did arrive early. We got a table, we got comfortable, we ordered a drink or a bottle. It was fun. I had an opportunity to order the hookah, so I was just vibing with my girl. We're just having fun. Cool place, recommended to chill, kick it. Again, it's very Americanized, so if you want to go for more of the local, we unfortunately didn't have that experience. But talking to the Ubers, talking to the local places, the local people, they recommended going to Santo Domingo, which from my previous experience, that's kind of like what I remember. But that was kind of pretty much it. We called it a night. We went home the next day. Let's see what we did the next day. I think it was a chill day. A lot of it because I needed to recover because I don't drink a lot. So when I drink, I low-key need to recover. So most of the day, I don't think we did much. We maybe went to the pool or whatever, but we just kicked it. We had the car. I know we did something. Oh, I remember. My girl wanted to eat a ceviche. So we went looking for a ceviche place, which one thing about Punta Cana is even if it's not there within driving distance, you'll find whatever you want to eat, whether that's Mexican food, whether it's Dominican food, American, whatever you pasta, whatever. Everything's available. So shout out to them for that. And the next few days we kicked it. We didn't do anything crazy. We enjoyed the pool. We went to different restaurants to eat, and we just relaxed. We just relaxed. We like to always relax the day before we hit up the airport, because once we hit up the airport, you know, even though the flight wasn't too long, it was about 3 hours, we didn't want to be too tired by the time we got back home. So that was my experience with Punta Cana. I would say the takeaways is, again, I mentioned this a lot. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's Americanized. Price wise, depending where you're used to traveling, depending on your budget, but I do find price wise, because it's Americanized, the price to be a little bit on the higher end. It has a lot to do with where you go, right? But example, if you're in Punta Cana, you're kind of stuck with tourism 100% because you have resorts around you. Everything is priced to the tourists. So it's almost like you can't really get something for a decent price unless you have a vehicle or you're taking a long Uber to a location, which we did in one of the restaurants, and it was really cool. So my takeaways are that really cool people. Everybody's a vibe. The locals are super cool. The tourists were cool too, man. I didn't find too much disrespect. I found it to be, everything was a vibe. Everything was cool. But if I could do it again, which is what I told my girl, if I could do it again, I would do two things. One, I would land in Santo Domingo. That's the first thing I would do. And I would probably rent a car more than 2 or 3 days that I did, right? Because I stayed there 7 days and I rented it for 2 or 3 days. So I'll probably do that. And because I'm not saying Santo Domingo has the best beaches, because that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, within the distance of being in Santo Domingo, if you're driving an hour this way, an hour this way, here's what you get. In Santo Domingo, it's a vibe, man. You're not going to get this whole tourism Americanized, like you're staying with just, I don't know, in LA. You're staying in DR, bro. That's where you're staying on. You're staying in Dominica, right? You're vibing with them. You're learning their culture. You're experiencing their culture. Santo Domingo is the spot, right? And by the way, this doesn't come from me. This comes from me talking to the Uber drivers, the people that live there. They mentioned, no, you gotta visit Santo Domingo. One of the things that I skipped, they got a Cocobongo. Right next to a Cocobongo, they got a place called El Patio. We visited El Patio one of the nights too. It's a vibe. I recommend it. It's huge outdoor, like, lounge, music, hookah, drinks, whatever, food, whatever you want, man. So I forgot to mention that. But overall, that's the goal, man. If we go back, I definitely recommend to anybody want to visit Punta Cana. But if you want to visit Punta Cana, my mistake, I think, is to stay all 6 days, 7 days in Punta Cana. I would like to have stayed half or more in Santo Domingo and been able to experience that. So if I can do it again, man, that's my recommendation. Anything else, just ask me a question, comment, DM me, whatever, man. I hope this helps you guys. And like I said, make sure you share. Give me feedback, man. Let me know what's up, all right? Follow me. I'll talk to you later. Peace.